Welcome to the deep dive.
It's great to be diving in again.
Yeah, definitely. Today, we're looking at some really powerful ideas for unlocking potential, stuff you can actually use.
Absolutely. Taken from Jack Canfield's The Success Principles. And the core idea, like Edison said, is that we're capable of so much more than we think.
Would literally astound ourselves.
Yeah, that's the quote.
Yeah.
And our mission here is to, help you tap into that, give you the shortcuts, the key takeaways.
So you can understand what these principles are, but also, maybe more importantly, why they matter to you.
And how to start putting them into action. Like today, this isn't just theory, it's about making real changes.
Right. So whether you're, prepping for something big or just curious about improving things.
I just want to make life feel a bit better, a bit more intentional.
Exactly. We're aiming for those aha moments, but keeping it practical. Brian Tracy compared life to a combination lock.
Finding the right numbers in the right order.
And that's what we're doing today, trying to find those numbers together. Let's get into it.
Okay, first things first. The absolute cornerstone, you could say, is taking 100% responsibility for your life.
100%. That sounds big.
It is, but it's not about blame. It's the opposite, really. It's about empowerment.
Right.
Realizing you are the one creating your experiences.
So moving out of that feeling of being a victim of circumstance.
Precisely. Becoming the architect of your own life. And there's that simple formula that makes it so clear.
The E plus R equals O.
Exactly. Event plus response equals outcome.
So the event, the E, that's the stuff that happens to you, right?
Right.
Stuff you often can't control.
Totally. External things like the source mentions that big LA earthquake that wrecked the freeways. Massive event. No one controlled that.
Okay, huge disruption. Commutes went from 1 hour to 3. Nightmare.
Right. Same event for everyone stuck in traffic. But
Yeah.
the response varied wildly.
Yeah, I can picture it. Some people probably screaming, hitting the steering wheel.
Totally consumed by anger, their outcome, a day ruined by stress and frustration.
But others in the same traffic jam.
Exactly. Others used the time differently. Maybe listened to an audiobook, made phone calls, or just practiced deep breathing.
So they chose a different R.
And got a different O. A different outcome. Maybe learned something, connected with someone, or just stayed calm. Same event, totally different experience based on the response.
It puts the control back in your hands, even when the situation seems out of control.
It really does. And it works in business, too. There's this great example of a Lexus dealership during the Middle East War.
Okay, so event is the war. People are distracted, not buying luxury cars, sales plummet.
Right. Their usual response, wait for customers, run ads, wasn't working, bad outcome.
So they had to change their R.
And they did something brilliant. They loaded up cars and drove them to where their potential customers were.
Like country clubs, marinas, fancy parties.
You got it. They took the cars to the people, offered test drives on the spot. Proactive.
That's a completely different response.
And it led to a much better outcome. Sales picked up. It shows you can create victory even from a tough situation by choosing your response.
That's powerful, shifting from victim to victor.
And that connects to the story of Raj Bhavsar, the gymnast.
Oh, yeah. How so?
Well, as a kid, like 4 years old, he was obsessed with climbing, tumbling, driving his parents crazy.
Little daredevil.
So they put him in gymnastics for safety, but it quickly became his passion. By 10, he knew.
Knew what?
He declared he'd be the best in the world, go to the Olympics. He took ownership of that dream super early.
Wow. So he didn't just fall into it. He took responsibility for that ambition.
Exactly. He embraced it. That's taking 100% responsibility for your path.
Which leads perfectly into the next point, right? Knowing why you're even on a path.
Precisely. Principle 2, be clear why you're here, your life purpose.
Okay, purpose. That sounds a bit lofty. Is it just about career?
Not at all. It's deeper. It's about identifying that unique thing you're meant to do or contribute. Successful people actually take time to figure this out.
They don't just drift.
No, they figure out their what and then pursue it with real passion, like Brian Tracy says.
Decide upon your major definite purpose and then organize all your activities around it.
Nailed it. It becomes your compass, your organizing principle.
Like Pat Williams, the Orlando Magic VP.
Perfect example. His advice, figure out what you love young, then build your life around making a living at it.
And for him, it was sports from day one.
Absolutely. Fell in love at his first Phillies game, learned to read from the sports pages, collected cards, wrote sports columns. Everything revolved around it.
He organized his whole life around that passion.
And purpose statements aren't just one size fits all. The source gives lots of examples.
Right, like to inspire people to have faith in themselves, That's big.
Or something very personal, like to raise healthy, prosperous children. That's a huge purpose for a stay-at-home parent.
Or global. To create a world living ecologically sustainable lives.
Or focused, like a doctor wanting to use my vast knowledge to educate, inspire, and empower people toward health.
So the common thread is clarity, knowing your why.
Exactly. And that clarity provides the drive.
So for anyone listening, the starting point is what? Reflecting on those things that genuinely light you up.
Absolutely. What are those deep desires? What passions make you lose track of time? Start there. That's finding your true north.
Okay, so we've got responsibility and purpose. Now let's get specific. Decide what you want, and importantly, reclaim your desires.
Reclaim them. What do you mean, like we lost them?
In a way, yeah. So many people don't get what they want simply because they haven't clearly defined it. Society kind of conditions us out of wanting things.
How so? Like being told you can't have that as a kid.
Exactly. Don't touch. Be happy with what you have. We learn to suppress our genuine preferences.
Makes sense. We get numb to what we actually desire.
There's this simple story the author tells about choosing a notebook, blue or yellow. Seems tiny, right?
Yeah, pretty minor. But for him, consciously choosing the blue one, acknowledging that small preference, was a turning point. It was about reclaiming the right to have preferences.
Wow. Just that little act of saying, I prefer blue, started something bigger.
It opened the door to acknowledging bigger wants and desires without guilt or dismissal.
So how do we, cut through that conditioning and figure out what we really want?
Here's a great exercise, the I want list.
Okay, sounds straightforward.
Just list 30 things you want to do, 30 things you want to have, and 30 things you want to be before you die. No editing, just let it flow.
90 wants. That forces you to dig a bit deeper than just the usual stuff.
It really does. And there's an even more intense version, the friend exercise.
How did that work?
You get a friend to just ask you over and over, what do you want?
Mm-hmm.
For maybe 10, 15 minutes, you just keep answering.
Rapid fire.
Yeah. And what happens is fascinating. You start with surface stuff. I want a new car. I want a vacation.
Sure, the obvious things.
But as they keep asking, you go deeper. By the end, you might be saying things like, I want to feel loved, or I want to make a difference, or I want inner peace.
Wow. It peels back the layers to get to the core desires.
Exactly. It bypasses the conditioned responses.
And getting that clear vision, it's like setting a destination on a GPS.
Perfect analogy. You lock in what you want, where you're going. You don't need the whole route mapped out instantly.
The how starts to show up once you're clear on the what and start moving.
Precisely. Your internal GPS starts guiding you, revealing the path, the resources, the people you need.
Like the story of Logan. Started with basically nothing.
Yeah, sleeping on couches, broke, feeling like a victim. But 6 months after clarifying his wants and shifting his mindset,
He turned things around.
completely. Started a yard cleaning business with just a bike and mower, became a self-defense instructor. Total transformation fueled by knowing what he wanted.
Amazing. Which leads us naturally to the law of attraction, doesn't it?
It sure does. A concept that gets a lot of airtime, but the core idea is pretty fundamental.
It's not just magic thinking.
Well, the principle is that everything vibrates, including your thoughts and feelings, and you attract experiences that match your dominant vibration.
Like attracts, like on an energetic level.
That's the idea. People might know it from The Secret, but there's also exploration in areas like quantum physics suggesting thoughts can influence reality.
Bioentanglement and all that. The idea that our thoughts aren't just isolated in our heads.
Right. Lynn McTaggart talks about how every thought, every judgment is having an effect. It's like we're constantly broadcasting a signal.
And the universe, or whatever you want to call it, responds to the signal, the vibration we're putting out.
Exactly. It doesn't judge if the signal is for something good or bad. It just matches the frequency.
Which is why complaining or focusing on what you don't want is so counterproductive.
It's critical. Criticizing, complaining, blaming, worrying. The source calls it negative goal setting.
You're essentially sending out strong requests for more of the stuff you hate.
Precisely. The universe just picks up on the strong emotion and focus, not the don't want part.
That makes sense. Like Dr. King's I have a dream, not I have a complaint.
Perfect example. Or Mother Teresa saying she wouldn't attend an anti-war rally, but would be first in line for a pro-peace rally.
Focus on what you do want to create.
That's the key. Shift your energy and attention to the desired outcome.
Okay, so practically, how do we use this? What are the tools?
Great question. First up, affirmations.
Positive statements,
Yeah.
right? Like I am.
Yes, but phrased as if it's already true. I am so happy and grateful now that I have my dream job. Or, I am easily earning X amount per month.
And the key is feeling it, not just saying the words.
Absolutely crucial. You need to generate the feeling, the joy, the gratitude of having it already. That creates the vibrational match.
And negative feelings block that, like resentment or guilt.
They're like static on the line. You can't receive clearly if you're broadcasting negativity.
Makes sense. Which leads to the next tools.
Appreciation and gratitude. These are probably the two most powerful frequencies for manifestation.
Because if you already had what you wanted, you'd feel grateful, right?
Exactly. So cultivate that feeling now. Meister Eckhart said if your only prayer was thank you, it would be enough.
Wow. So maybe a daily gratitude list. Just 5 minutes.
Fantastic practice. List anything and everything. It shifts your whole state.
Okay, affirmations, gratitude.
What else? Visualization. This is like programming that GPS we talked about.
Seeing it in your mind's eye.
Seeing it, feeling it, experiencing it as already complete. The author visualized getting a $100,000 check for his book.
And then got unexpected publicity that led to huge sales.
Right, the National Enquirer article. It lined up perfectly with his visualization.
That's pretty specific.
Yeah.
And the story about Heather recovering through visualization.
Shows its power even in healing, yeah. When she was at her absolute limit.
But what if you're someone who doesn't see really clear pictures in your head?
Totally normal. Most people are non-eidetic visualizers. You just think the image, have the concept or feeling, it works just as well.
So it's not about being a movie director in your head.
Not at all. Just consistently holding the thought and feeling. Twice a day is recommended.
Got it. And they're physical tools too, right? Vision boards.
Yes. Vision boards and goal books. John Assaraf's story is amazing here.
The one where his kid found the old vision board?
Yeah. 5 years later, he looked at it and realized how many things on its specific house's cars had actually come true, even though he'd forgotten about the board itself.
The subconscious mind kept working on it.
Seems like it. And Kabir's magician dream.
Mm.
That one's wild.
He wanted to be a famous magician.
Desperately. So he started acting as if, dressing the part, visiting fancy stores.
Living the role before he had it.
Exactly. And he saw the specific Fortis watch he knew his future self would wear.
So he put it on his vision board.
Yep. Made a mock magazine cover with his face, wrote an article about his success, pinned the watch picture up, visualized it daily, felt the gratitude while saving up.
Okay, consistent action and visualization.
Then the twist. He finally saves the money, goes to buy the watch.
And they don't sell it anymore.
Oh, no. Crushing, right. But the salesman checks the back, finds one used for display.
The watch.
The exact one. Fits perfectly. It's like the universe conspired to deliver it because his intention and belief were so strong and consistent.
Wow, that story really sets up this next section perfectly. Overcoming those things inside us that get in the way. Starting with, take action.
The great separator. You can have the best intentions, the clearest vision, but without action, nothing happens.
Clock is cheap, basically. Winners act.
Even if it's imperfect action, they start, they learn, they adjust, they build momentum.
Like Ruben Gonzalez, the luge guy. He started at 38.
With zero experience. Decided he wanted to compete in the Olympics, called the association, they said he was way too old.
That he was born in Argentina.
Yeah.
That changed things.
Yeah, they needed more countries competing. But they warned him. It's brutal, expect broken bones, almost everyone quits.
And his reaction was,
Great, the harder it is, the easier it is for me. He wasn't kidding.
that's intense commitment.
He showed up, first day was hell, almost quit, but he stuck with it.
And the other beginners.
All 14 quit before the season even ended. Ruben went on to compete in 4 Olympics.
Incredible. Just shows what happens when you act, even when it's incredibly hard.
Action is key, but often the thing stopping action is fear.
Ah, yes. The big one. So the next principle, experience your fear and take action. Anyway.
Fear is normal. It's part of growing. But it doesn't have to paralyze you. Love the acronym FEAR.
Fantasized experiences appearing real.
Exactly. Most of what we fear isn't real. It's just imagined negative outcomes.
Like standing on that high diving board for the first time.
Perfect analogy. You're terrified. Your heart's pounding.
You don't wait to stop being scared. You just jump.
Right. Feel the fear, do it anyway, and then what happens?
Splash. Relief. Maybe even fun.
Exhilaration. And then you do it again, and the fear shrinks. You build confidence.
And that applies to other fears too, right? Not just physical ones.
Absolutely. Asking for a raise, asking someone out, leaving a job you hate, delegating work.
The stuff that feels risky but could lead to huge growth.
Like Anthony Robbins says, if you can't, you must. And if you must, you can. Push through it.
Charlie's story really hit me here. The man with legal blindness.
Yeah, terrified of asking for help, hiding his condition for years.
Until Jack, the author, kind of pushed him to share it at a seminar.
He was angry at first, felt exposed, but then he spoke.
And the audience didn't judge him.
They gave him a standing ovation, offered overwhelming support rides, proofreading, groceries.
Wow. Facing the fear led to liberation and connection, not rejection.
Completely changed his life. He realized he didn't have to be isolated by it.
So facing fear is one thing. What about those deeper, ingrained negative thoughts?
That brings us to transcend your limiting beliefs. This one is huge.
Because our subconscious just accepts what we tell it.
Pretty much, if you keep saying, I can't or I'm not worthy, your subconscious works to make that true. Limiting beliefs can literally kill potential.
Like that story about Nick Sitzman, the railroad worker? That's chillin'.
Locked in a refrigerated boxcar, right?
Yeah.
But it was only 55 degrees, not freezing.
But he believed he was freezing to death.
Rusted on the walls, and he died. The autopsy showed physical signs of freezing. His belief killed him.
Makes you really question what beliefs we're holding on to that are limiting our lives.
Exactly. Dr. Daniel Ammon calls them ANTs, automatic negative thoughts.
ANTs, like the picnic ruining kind?
Yep. And they ruin your life experience if you let them. The solution: stomp them.
How do you stomp an ANT?
3 steps. Awareness, catch the thought. Challenge, question its validity. Replace, swap it for a positive, empowering thought.
Okay, give me an example, like feeling guilty thinking I should do this.
That should is heavy. Reframe it. It supports my goals to do this. Or it's me my best interest. Takes the guilt out.
What about labeling yourself like, I'm so stupid?
Challenge it. Okay, that action wasn't brilliant, but I am still a smart person capable of learning. Don't let one act define you.
Or personalizing things, assuming someone's mad at you when they might just be busy.
Big one. Instead of assuming, ask directly. Hey, you seem quiet. Is everything okay? Get to the truth. Don't invent negative stories.
There's a process for this, right?
Yeah.
What's not working?
Yeah. Helps you identify the belief, see the negative consequences, and create a turnaround statement.
Like turning I can't ask for help into asking for help is a sign of strength.
Exactly. Giving yourself permission to operate from a new, empowering belief.
Okay, so we've tackled action, fear, beliefs. What about commitment?
Yes. Commit to constant and never-ending improvement. 100% is a breeze.
Wait, 100% is a breeze. That sounds harder than 99%.
It sounds paradoxical, but think about it. When you're only 99% committed, there's still room for debate, for wavering. That takes energy.
The internal argument. Should I or shouldn't I?
Exactly. But when you're 100% committed, the decision is made. No more debate. All that energy is freed up for action.
It's the no exceptions rule.
Like with monogamy, the example used. Once you're 100% committed, you don't waste energy considering other options. The door is closed. It simplifies things.
Like Sid, the 87-year-old guy.
Yeah. Bikes, eats healthy, his one trait, ice cream. But only on a full moon. 100% committed.
And for his 75th birthday, his friends made him a fake moon.
Because it wasn't a full moon. They wheeled in this cardboard moon so he could have his ice cream without breaking his commitment.
That's amazing. Shows how powerful and even inspiring that level of commitment can be. Okay, shifting from internal blocks to our external world, this next one feels really important. Drop out of the Ain't It Awful Club and surround yourself with successful people.
Huge. Your environment, especially the people you spend the most time with, massively impacts your mindset, your energy, your results.
Choose your friends wisely, basically.
And colleagues and mentors. Weiland, the artist, has that great analogy. Anchors and motors.
You want to ditch the anchors holding you down and hang out with the motors who are going somewhere.
Exactly. Motors are moving forward, having more fun. Anchors just drag you.
I totally get the Ain't It Awful Club.
Yeah.
I remember my first teaching job, the staff room.
Oh, yeah. Negative vibe.
Constant complaints about the kids, the admin, the system. It was so draining. I learned quickly to avoid it if I wanted to stay positive.
That's it. You have to recognize those dream stealers, the people who suck your energy or tell you your ideas are stupid.
And consciously choose to spend less time with them and more time with positive influences.
Surround yourself with only people who are going to lift you higher. It's strategic self-care.
That story about the optical lens salespeople is interesting too.
Right. Everyone knew who the top 5 performers were. Instantly.
But when asked if they had ever actually asked those top performers for advice,
Crickets. Not a single hand went up. Crazy, right? The knowledge is right there.
makes you think, who are the motors in my field or life, and have I actually reached out to learn from them?
Such a key question. Look at John Assaraf and his sauna school.
Just hanging out in a sauna with successful people.
Pretty much. Immersing himself daily in their conversations, their mindset, their belief that anything was possible, he absorbed it.
So it's about strategic association, not just formal learning.
Definitely. And networking, it's not just for CEOs.
Like Miriam Laundrie and her Guinness World Record.
Yeah, huge goal. Empower 100,000 kids with her book. She networked, shared her vision.
And it led to unexpected connections, like that Winspiration Day thing.
And massive support from a company, Nicken. It snowballed because she put herself and her clear vision out there in the right circles.
It shows the power of connection and shared purpose.
Which flows right into the next principle. Learn more to earn more. Basically, keep investing in yourself.
Continuous learning. John Wooden said, if I am through learning, I am through.
Absolutely. In today's world, knowledge is a massive advantage.
And we don't always need formal education to get it. Think about TV time.
The stats are shocking. Average American watches 6 hours a day.
Which adds up to 15 years of life by age 60, just watching TV. 15 years.
Mind-boggling. W. Clement Stone's advice was simple. Cut out just 1 hour of TV a day.
Just 1 hour. That creates 365 extra hours a year.
Equivalent to a college course. Imagine what you could learn or master in that time.
Leaders are readers, right? You mentioned reading thousands of books.
It makes a huge difference. Look at Dr. John DeMartini read the works of Nobel winners, greats in every field.
Immersed himself in genius. No wonder he's considered brilliant.
Reading pays off, and if reading isn't your main thing, or you're busy...
Audio programs. Turn your commute into a university on wheels.
Exactly. Languages, management, marketing, health. You can learn almost anything during that downtime. 1,250 hours over 5 years for a typical commute.
That's incredible potential wasted if you're just listening to junk radio.
And look at Les Brown. His story is pure preparation meeting opportunity.
Passionate about broadcasting, but no training.
So he learned however he could. Hung around radio stations, observed, asked questions.
Practiced in his bedroom with a hairbrush microphone.
For years, before any chance came up. Then, one day, a DJ couldn't finish his show.
Les stepped in.
Yeah.
And because he'd done the work?
He nailed it. Instant hit. Got his own show. His learning before the opportunity made all the difference. Okay, let's turn inward now. This is about accessing that deeper intelligence we all have. Inquire within. Trust your intuition.
Our unconscious mind being way more powerful than our conscious one.
By millions to one, researchers estimate. That's where your natural genius resides. It's smarter than your logical mind.
So we should consult it more often.
Wise people do. There's that old legend about the gods hiding wisdom.
Where did they hide it?
Inside humans themselves, believing we'd only value it if we had to search inward to find it. That inner wisdom is intuition.
Like the author's experience on that meditation retreat.
Yeah, 7 days. Mind racing like crazy for the first few days.
Then suddenly, chicken soup appears on his mental blackboard.
Out of nowhere, his logical mind was baffled. What does chicken soup have to do with our inspirational book?
But the inner voice explained it.
Clearly. Chicken soup is what Grandma gave you when you were sick. People's spirits are sick. This book is like chicken soup for the soul.
Wow. The title came directly from that deep, intuitive hit. Not from brainstorming.
A perfect example. So how do we recognize intuition? How do we know it's not just wishful thinking?
Good question. What are the signs?
Often a sense of clarity, a feeling of rightness, and physically maybe excitement, passion, a feeling of expansion.
And the opposite signals don't go there.
Yeah.
Like feeling drained or constricted.
Exactly. If an idea makes you feel bored, heavy, or shut down, that's your intuition waving a red flag. Expansion and energy mean green light.
Listen to your gut, basically.
Your whole being, really. And closely related to inner wisdom is how we express ourselves outwardly. Final principle. Speak with impeccability.
Meaning our words have power, they create effects.
Absolutely. They carry energy, they shape your reality, your relationships. What you put out comes back, often multiplied.
So be mindful of what you say. Ask yourself,
will this advance my vision? Will it uplift the hearer? Is it constructive?
Because every word creates something.
Positively or negatively. And a huge part of impeccable speech is don't assume.
Assumptions. The killer of communication.
Totally. The do you mean technique is brilliant here.
Okay, how does that work? Like the wife asking the husband to clean the garage.
Right. He says no. She could assume he's mad or lazy. Resentment builds.
But with do you mean?
She asks, do you mean you're never going to help? He says no, not at all. Then, do you mean you're busy Saturday? He says yes. I forgot to tell you I have an appointment.
Clarity. It avoids the whole misunderstanding, gets to the truth quickly.
Game changer for relationships. Stops resentment before it starts.
And this ties into receiving feedback, too, not taking it personally.
Exactly. See feedback as information, like an airplane's autopilot.
It's just data telling you if you're on or off course, not a personal attack.
Precisely. The plane doesn't get offended, it just adjusts. See feedback as data to help you correct course and reach your goal faster.
That's a much healthier way to look at it. Less defensiveness.
And Jelani's story with her son asking for feedback on their relationship.
He rated it a 9 and struggled to say what would make it a 10.
Yeah, he couldn't quite articulate it, said it felt weird to call it perfect, but mentioned just spending time together, cooking, watching movies.
Things they were already doing.
Right. And in that moment of open, honest, slightly awkward feedback, Jelani felt this overwhelming love and realized how deep their bond was.
The willingness to ask and listen, even when the answer wasn't perfectly clear, deepened their connection.
Beautifully put. It went beyond surface conversation. Hashtag, tag, 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 outro.
Wow. Okay, we covered a lot of ground there. Really powerful stuff.
We really did. From taking that 100% responsibility,
understanding E plus RO,
to getting crystal clear on your purpose and actually deciding what you want.
then harnessing the law of attraction with affirmations, gratitude, visualization.
Tackling the internal blocks, taking action, moving through fear, challenging those limiting beliefs, those ANTs.
Right. And the power of 100% commitment, simplifying things.
Plus, shaping your environment, choosing motors over anchors, dropping the ain't it awful club.
And committing to lifelong learning, turning downtime into growth time.
Finishing with tapping into intuition and the immense power of speaking impeccably, avoiding assumptions.
It's a comprehensive toolkit for change, really.
Absolutely.
So as we wrap this up, here's a thought to leave you with. Achieving those big dreams, it often starts small, not with some giant leap, but with consistent daily application of these ideas.
Small hinges swing big doors.
So maybe just pick one thing. What's one principle from today that resonates, that you can commit to applying, even in a small way, starting now?
Because as Coolidge said, persistence and determination, they're pretty much unstoppable.
It's just a glimpse, isn't it? There's so much potential there.
Keep leaning in, keep exploring, and remember Zig Ziglar's wisdom.
You can get anything in life you want if you will just help enough other people get what they want. Food for thought.